All right, for today's video, we're going to do Chapter 1, Lesson 1E, 1E. The topic is taking a decimal and multiplying it by another decimal. We also might take a decimal and multiply it by a whole number. But basically, this is decimal multiplication. So I've got an example here, 4 2/10 times 8/10, 4.2 times 0.8. And if you think back to our estimating lesson, 4.2 is about 4, 0.8 is about 1. So I'm looking for an answer that's pretty close to 4. Okay, so if I don't get an answer, kind of close to 4. Like I don't want an answer that's 40. I don't want an answer that's 4/10. So I don't want little answers. I don't want big answers. I kind of want something somewhere close to 4. So my first piece of advice is to forget about the decimals. Let's just pretend we had plain old 42 and 8. We don't, but let's just pretend that we did. 8 times 2 is 16, carry the 1. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 1 more is 33. Now let's stick the decimals back in. There is a decimal behind the 2 and behind the 8. So if I put the decimal right here, would that answer be anywhere close to 4 if I had it here? No, it would not. Well, first let's start, I guess, right here. Is 336 close to 4? No, it is not. Is 33.6 close to 4? Not really. Is 3.36 close to 4? Sure is. The decimal is going to go right there. The other thing that I want you to think about is counting. So we're going to look up in our question. I had one digit, I had another digit, 2 digits behind the decimal. That means that in the answer, I need 2 digits behind the decimal, 3.36. All right, in our next question, we're going to try 2 15/100 times 1 8/10, 2.15 times 1.8. So let's first estimate. Let's say 2 15/100 is pretty close to 2. 1.8 is pretty close to 2. So our answer is going to be somewhere close to 4. We're going to write the question pretending we don't have any decimals. 215 times 18. And when I do that multiplication, I end up with 3870. If I put the decimal back here, is 3,870 close to 4? No. 387, 38.7, 3.87, or 0.3870. Answer is 3.870. Remember, our other technique was to put the decimal points back in the question. So I had a decimal point here and a decimal point here, and then we count. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 digits behind in the back of the decimal. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 digits behind the decimals. So you can either use this estimation or you can count. Estimate or count. But a decimal point in any of these other spots would not work. Now, a lot of times when we grade, math books like to drop the 0 if there happens to be any zeros at the very, very back, past a decimal, that's key. So you might see the book say 3 87/100, 3.87, and drop that last 0. Calculators drop it too. Is it wrong if you don't drop it? No, but get in the habit of dropping that last 0. However, you have to drop it after you've counted, because if you drop it first, then our estimate is not going to be close. Remember, we needed it close to 4. And if I drop it first and then do the counting method, my answer would not be close to 4. All right, I'd like you to write these 3 questions down. So I've given you a question, and I've told you what the digits of the answer are. I've given you a question, told you the digits, but what I didn't do is put the decimal in the correct spot. So I need you to figure out either by estimating or counting, estimate or count, Where does the decimal go here? Where does it go here? Where does it go here? So pause the video, try it out, hit play and see if you're right. All right, there's the correct answers. If I count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 digits behind the decimal. If I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I'm always starting at the back and then moving up to the front. 1, 2. Start at the back. 1, 2. All right, let's try this question here in blue. So remember, the first thing I said is forget about the decimals. So if I just did normal 4 times 6, I would end up with 24. But there are decimals, so I need to stick the decimals back in, and I need to do my counting. Oh, I didn't leave myself any room. All right, so I need to do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then if you look over here, I don't have 4 digits. So what I'm going to have to do is put some 0 placeholders so that I now have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 digits behind the decimal. Our last example is a decimal times a whole number. So I'm going to forget that there's a decimal there, and I'm going to say 4 times 6 is 24. Then I'm going to say, nope, the decimals really are there. Do the counting method, 1, 2. There's nobody behind the decimal here. If I come back to my original problem, 1, 2, there's nobody behind the decimal here. So I count over here, 1, 2, and I stick my decimal in up front. All right, these are the questions that you should do on Google Classroom. Remember that if you're having any trouble opening up the form in Google Classroom, try opening it up through Chrome first. Go to www.chrome, then classroom.google.com. Then you should find the form in the Google Classroom and open it up. Sometimes if you open it up through Safari or Internet Explorer, it doesn't like to open up. But I've been finding that people have more luck if they open it up through Chrome first. If you have an iPad, sometimes it will pop up and it'll say, would you like to open this in Chrome or Safari? So you're going to choose Chrome. If you have any technical difficulties, have your mom or dad email me. All right, good luck.